as I rode my bicycle on Brennan Road, traveling past this institution going to St. Augustine's, I've always watched this institution and watched it grow, and now it's become one of the finest institutions here in the Bahamas. I congratulate you. Administrators, faculty members, staff, guests of students, and students, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to thank you all for the invitation to be with you for your 43rd National Pride event under the theme, Rocking Solid with Bahamian Culture. Kingsway has a wonderful reputation for good teachers and outstanding students. And one part of teaching and learning is being clear about definitions. As your teacher may have told you, culture can be defined in a number of ways. First, culture may be defined as the ideas, beliefs, attitudes, and behavior of a country or a group of people. So, culture is, in one sense, everything we do as a people, from the way we dress, to what we eat, to our religious beliefs, our language, our attitudes, our ways of thinking and expressing ourselves. And you, the young people today, are making a dramatic change in one aspect of our culture with respect to eating. Yesterday, every Sunday, our parents, brothers, sisters, ourselves, we cooked. We ate at home. You, the young people now, you eat out, you go to buffets, and you are in what we define as the McDonald's, Burger King, and pizza era. That's all you want. We live in a country mostly influenced by Christianity. In Israel, the people are influenced by Jewish culture and Jewish beliefs. In quite a number of countries, people are influenced by the religion. It is important to be understanding and respectful of other people's belief and practices, even if they are not your beliefs. And we learn things from other countries and peoples. Parts of a culture can be positive. For example, Bahamians are often thought of as being welcoming and hospitable. We are thought of as being friendly and a humble group of people. But parts of a culture can also not be as positive. For example, we have a tendency as Bahamians for being late and not starting on time. When I was a student at University of Minnesota, it was the school's policy that if the teacher was 10 minutes late, each student can get up and leave because the class is so. And if the student is 10 minutes late, the teacher can likewise get up and leave the class is canceled. When I was Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, if my meeting started at 8 o'clock, whether there were only 2 or 3 individuals, my meetings would start. And for those who came late, if they asked questions, I would always say, you must wait and refer to the minutes at a later time, because we're not going back. That was a culture that I had inherited while at University of Minnesota. That was a culture that I took with me as of the Prime Minister. And every man and child was always early because they knew at least 15 minutes before the meeting began, I would have been there present waiting. The way you behave on a daily and regular basis is influenced by those around you. It is influenced by what you see on the internet and what you see on television. You are a product of a culture in which you live. In the Bahamas, we are also very influenced by the American culture. But we also have our own unique culture with its own strengths and problems. And today, I want to give you some examples of those who have contributed positively to our culture through their various achievements. This brings me to my second definition of culture. And this definition of culture concerns the achievements of a people in areas such as arts, education, and sports. For example, in the arts, these achievements can be in painting, sculpture, film, music, dance, plays, poetry, novels, and other examples of artistic and cultural expressions. I want to talk about how we have achieved as Bahamians and what is possible for you to achieve by using your God-given gifts and talents. You have seen a quilt or tapestry before. You have certainly seen a Dunkano Day Parade. Bahamas, like other countries, is a quilt or tapestry. We resemble the many colorful sounds and sights of a parade. And I've been participating in Dunkano from the age of 5. And I still rush today with the Saxons Superstar. I can see today that many of you are Saxons. So those who are Saxons, let's hear you shout, Saxons! I would hope very much that I would be able to recruit several of your drummers to join up this line. A jump requires the skills, talents, and hard work of many people. Success in Dunkano requires a team. The same is true for a country. Our Bahamian culture and national story is woven or sewn or built from many cultures and areas of the world. We are a mix of people and influences from Africa, Europe, Asia, the West Indies, and the wider Americas. Even our slave ancestors do not come from one area of Africa. Indeed, a number of the slave groups that were brought to the Bahamas spoke different languages. And from your history classes, the large number of our slave ancestors came from the southern United States. Even today, the way many of us speak is similar to the people of the southern United States. They brought with them language and customs such as eating grits. And if you go back a few generations, you will find that many of us can trace our roots to the Caribbean. We can trace our roots to Jamaica, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica, Bermuda, and other parts of the Caribbean. One of the greatest national heroes is Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinling, whose father was from Jamaica. There are many well-known surnames in the Bahamas that originally came from Haiti. These include surnames such as DeVoe, Monker, Bonamy, and Delet. Out of many cultures and peoples, we have created one Bahamas, a country with so many talented and gifted people. Though we are a small country, we have achieved much at home and around the world. Our diversity is a strength. You already know about some of our world-class athletes. We have achieved gold and other medals at the Olympics and at other sporting events. At the upcoming Olympics in Paris, we will be rooting for all of our athletes, including Shanae Miller-Ubo, Stephen Gardner, Ken Mullings, and Divine Shelton. Sir Arthur Folkes, who served as Governor General, also traces his roots back to the Caribbean. He says of the Bahamas, we are one people, one Bahamas, proud of our music, proud of our songs and dances, proud of our folklore, proud of our works of arts. As we gather here today, I want you to look at the person to your left and say, we are one people.
We are one people.
Say it again, we are one people. Many of you have been to the National Galleries or other art galleries. You have heard of artists like Max Taylor, Brent Malone, John Cox, Antonius Roberts, Jackson Burnside, Amos Ferguson, and many others. And today, I want to broaden your view and talk about some other Bahamian talent you may not be as familiar with. We are known for rake and scrape, junkadoo, traditional Bahamian songs, and spirituals. But there are other examples of musical expressions and culture that you may not know as well. I want to give you some examples as noted by Sir Arthur. There were Bert Williams, a Bahamian, who left the Bahamas in 1884 at the age of 10 to become a great comedian and recording artist who made America laugh and appeared in a command performance at Buckingham Palace. There was Paul Mayers, perhaps the greatest cabaret dancer of his age, who captivated audiences on both sides of the Atlantic with his physical beauty and poetry of motion. There was also Randolph Simonet, the young man who sailed out of Inagua on a schooner and became a singer with the Metropolitan Opera in New York and with opera houses throughout Europe. Then there is John Berkeley Peanuts Taylor, who became famous for his artistry on the drums and performed for audiences around the world. There was Joseph Spence, whose magical mastery of the guitar is celebrated internationally and whose inventive technique is being studied in international music institutions. I encourage you to look up and study these talented and outstanding Bahamians. There are also others like Alfonso Blind Blake Hicks, George Simonet, Tony McKay, Exuma the Obeah and Clement Bethel. There are also Kayla Lockett Edwards and the great Bahamian dancer Maureen Devalier. Many of you know about the National Youth Choir, which has performed with excellence around the world. And that choir was started by Cleophas Adley Jr., a composer who also wrote a Bahamian opera. We haven't even touched the surface, but I want to make just one or two closing points. I gave you two definitions of culture at the beginning of my remarks. There is a connection between these two definitions. Through outstanding culture expressions, we can help to foster a better culture in general. Through discipline in the arts, we can inspire discipline and excellence in our daily life. That is what Cleophas Adley Jr. and others did. Those who contribute positively and with excellence and hard work in education, sports, the arts, and other areas help to create a better people. We see many negative parts of our culture in terms of crime, slack behavior, and other negative attitudes and behaviors. I offered you some examples of those who have left a mark on Bahamian culture in general. In whatever area you are good at, I invite you to rock solid. I ask you to rock solid in your pride for things Bahamian. Rock solid in doing your best. Rock solid in learning more about the many Bahamians who have achieved so much and who may inspire you to do likewise. May God bless each and every one of you, and may God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Thank you very much.